When executives talk about their companies on an earnings call, if they tell stories, lie, or whatever, can they get in trouble?
If they make up stories about their earnings and products, and yeah, yes, they can, because they would face SEC sanctions.
Exactly. And, newer investors may not realize that these quarterly calls, once every 3 months, those executives, the CEO, CFO as well, they have to get on and report the future projections of a company. And if they lie, they can get in a huge amount of trouble. They can go to jail, big fines, and all of that. So when executives talk on an earnings call, they pick their words very wisely, but they
Yes,
also realize that they can get in a lot of trouble. So they try to speak as factual as possible. So
yes.
let me play some excerpts from the most recent earnings call with Apple this week. They reported blowout numbers, as we talked about earlier. I want our audience to hear what Tim Cook had to say about Mac sales. You will see how Apple is continually growing, even though it's becoming a $1 trillion company. You will see how Apple is penetrating across the world. Check this out, Patrick. I think I'm going to get this clip to play this time. Okay?
Oh, okay.
All right.
Very much. Tim, could you talk a bit about the Mac business? Looking back, it's up about 50% from the calendar 2019 revenue. You did almost 11 billion this quarter, and you're still working through the M1 transition. So, can you talk about where you see the opportunity to gain share? What are really sort of the target markets that you think you can go after, in order to grow this, beyond, I think it was about 37 billion in the last 12 months. Thank you. And then I have a follow-up.
Yeah, Shannon, thank you for the question. Max set an all-time revenue record at 10.9 billion for the quarter. That was up 25%. And as you point out, the last 6 quarters for the Mac have been the top 6 revenue quarters of all time. And what's further very good about this is we set all-time revenue records in Americas, in Europe, and the rest of Asia Pacific. And we set a December quarter record in Greater China. And so it's not narrowed to a particular geographic area that we're doing well in. It's almost across the board. The response is very much because of M1, and we got even more response with the MacBook Pro that we launched during the Q1 timeframe. Both the upgraders, which we had a record number of upgraders for the December quarter, but also in markets like China, 6 out of 10 sales are to people new to the Mac, and so it's powered by both upgraders and switchers. Customer satisfaction is off the charts, and so what I see this as is a product that will be very successful in a number of different markets, from education to business to the creative industry, and in all geographic markets. We're not limiting ourselves.
Patrick, what did you hear there, my friend?
Well, I heard that the iMac and the MacBook computers that Apple sells, that's what they were first known as, and they've evolved into the latest iterations, is that it's becoming increasingly prolific, and it's just like the growth is just off the chains in terms of those two products, the notebook, the portable computer, and the desktop, the iMac. And what's more is that the M1 is Apple's own processor. So in that respect, I think the M1 processor that Apple has further developed that's going to allow Apple to control the inputs, not only and so increase profit margins in that respect, but the satisfaction is good. I mean, it's a superior product as compared to many others.
Did you hear that adoption rate for the Mac and all of the new users that Apple is penetrating the way they're penetrating China? And it's not just penetration in one particular segment, but it is a global growth penetration. So why would that be important, Patrick, is when you look at the market cap of Apple, right around 3 trillion? Some would say, some would say, well, is it going to continue to grow, right? And I would say not only is it going to grow, it's going to more than double, I think. But we'll go through some metrics in a moment. But I wanted you to see that. Listen to this. I want you to hear this next clip on the services side of the business from the conference call. Check this out.